everyone. South Plains College Texan Club here, joined by South Plains College basketball coach Steve Green and women's basketball coach Cayla Petree. Let's start out with Coach Green. Coach, a couple of scrimmages in the book. Let's talk about first couple of scrimmages and how's things shaping up early on in the season for the Texans.
Well, we have a lot of work to do, but there were some bright spots. I mean, we've got the ability to score. I think we've got to learn, to play together a little bit better. But we're not lacking for talent. I don't think we just need to figure out some happy combinations. I guess.
That's why the preseason is here, right? Figure
Yes,
out happy combinations.
Yeah, I mean, guys that enjoy playing together and do play together well. And then but like I said, we've got several players that we're looking forward to really some good things from.
Coach Petree, you've gotten things going as well. Are you looking for happy combinations?
Happy combinations.
I love that. Happy combinations. What's going on with the Lady Texans here early in the season, Coach?
Well, we've had a couple of scrimmages. We went down to the big shootout in Dallas, and that was good to get some games under our belt. And we also scrimmaged West Texas A&M. All freshmen except for the one returner, Maddie Doris. It's kind of good to compete against somebody other than ourselves because we just don't know exactly how hard we have to compete to win, with everybody being new, but we're going to figure it out.
Coach Green, let's talk about personnel. I was coming through campus the other day, and I about ran over Jordan Brangers with my cars. I was kind of shocked Jordan Brangers was crossing the street in front of me.
Use that slow getting out of the way. That's not encouraging.
I'm not a very good driver, though, Coach. That's part of the problem. You bring back Jordan Brangers, but looking over your roster, it's very much a Steve Green kind of team, I guess, with a lot of sophomores that are coming in from other places, a lot of new faces as JUCO basketball goes. So shape that roster up a little bit for us for 2017.
Well, we have a returning point guard who played a considerable amount last year in Greg Shedd, and then obviously Brangers is back. We have a kid that was sitting out last year, Deshaun Corcoran, as a sophomore. Well, he'll be a freshman for us, but he will be a one-year player here. We've got a couple other transfers. One from Logan Junior College, one from Marshalltown, and a couple of freshmen to go along with them. Chris Orlina, I think, has really shown some bright spots to this point. So. And that's just kind of a hit and miss on 4 or 5 of them. But we have, I think, 9 or 10, 11 players that all will see some significant time this season.
Coach Petree, you've got a young squad. Now you mentioned Maddie Doris already. Maddie Doris was around here last year. Was a pretty big asset. You bring in a lot of new faces for 2017. Talk a little bit about some of these players that we're going to see coming in for the new year.
LaPrejean Johnson is a 5'11", kind of swingman, big bodyguard. She's from Killeen. I think she can score, multiple ways. She can get to the rim. She can post up for smaller guards, and she can shoot the three a little bit.
All right, very good. So that takes us to scrimmages are about done now.
We are done.
You're done scrimmaging already, so regular season is already here.
I was just, before I got interrupted by you guys to come up here and do this, I was downstairs figuring out our hotel situation in Dallas, and the guy told me, you guys are coming next week, and I said, what? it's all, so
next week?
It is here. It's a week from Saturday, I guess.
Right.
And so it's here. We open up and we play in that Texas East-West Challenge, or whatever it is, I don't know. And we play Lamar State Port Arthur, and we play Angelina. I don't know much about either one of them other than I know the past success that Angelina's had, and we play them the second day. So it's a fairly challenging start, I think. For a group of guys that have never played together, but hopefully we're playing against a group of guys that have never played together as well. So, and chances are we are. So, we shall see.
Coach Petree, what have you got coming up on the schedule? People need to highlight to get ready to watch Lady Texan basketball.
Well, I've just got a question, Mike.
Question. All right.
I feel like that I'm always looking to learn from, the Hall of Fame
education
Coach Green, and
there we
was looking for like, little nuggets to help me be like you. And so right there, is that the secret to
What?
the Texans' success for many, many years, is that no job is too small for the head coach? You're doing the hotels now?
No, I was asked a question by one of my assistants. Have you heard anything on the hotels? Because I've been trying to get in touch with the people that you told me were going to take care of it.
Oh,
And I said, no, I haven't, but I can get right to it.
I was just really impressed. It's a
Hey.
whole new green.
A lot of pieces moving around.
Yeah.
There are.
He's
A lot of management going on here.
This is a well-oiled machine, man.
There you go.
No, I'm excited. We're gonna go out to Arizona. We'll play Eastern Arizona and Cochise. Cochise was at the national tournament last year, and Eastern is always good. Then, we just never stop. I think we play 13 games in the month of November. So
It's a bit of a haul for the
Yeah.
first month of
Well,
the schedule then.
poor scheduling, but it was the only way to fill the schedule.
Well, and with a young team coming in, repetition and play, as you mentioned early on, playing other people, getting out there and getting these kids that are coming in as high school players into this first level of college, just getting them games under their belts it's got to be a big deal for you.
Speak to that, would you please?
Can you ask the question?
Getting games and repetition for young players.
Yes, we got
You
to
learn by doing. As
Yeah,
they say.
repetition. No, I think we'll get knocked in the mouth a little bit, but I think we'll definitely have the potential to learn and grow, and we'll be okay.
Education by force, so to
Yes,
speak.
yes, sir.
Let's talk about the WJCAC, Coach. I know it's early in the year, but what's this conference look like? Are we seeing another powerhouse year of these great teams coming out of the WJCAC?
I really don't know. I mean, I've heard some things from different people, and I've heard, of some schools that people don't think are as good as they have been, and others that are considerably better than they have been. So, I think you're looking at the same 5 or 6 schools probably. New Mexico military has kind of jumped into that the top echelon a little bit as far. I mean, people are saying that they really have 2 or 3 really high quality players this year. That I know a lot of schools are. I can base it on recruiting. I mean, a lot of schools are trying to recruit a couple other kids already, and that hadn't been done around here in quite some time. So, evidently, Ralph has put together, a talented group over there. I think Odessa. People tell me Odessa is really, really, really good, and Howard is much improved. I think from last year. They got into the playoffs barely, and then upset the number 1 team. From the north side. So. I think it'd be just about like it usually is. It'd be 4, 5, 6 teams that can probably beat anybody. If you're not playing pretty good.
Coach Petree, the women's side has been much the same last year. We saw a lot of teams that were in the hunt, in the thick of things for the playoffs. Anybody you've got your eye on that just looks like somebody that's really going to be the shining mark, if you will, the WJCAC?
I think just like the last few years, our league is, if not the toughest conference in the country, it's definitely one of the top 2. New Mexico Junior College, they have reloaded, and they have 3 or 4 really big time high major transfers. Odessa, they were ranked number 1 in the country the majority of last year, and they returned probably 75% of that team. And Midland College, they always are very, very competitive. I watched all 3 of them at the scrimmage. Midland has 6 players over 6'2", so they're definitely very, very big, and they'll run that high-low and just kind of beat you to death. Odessa is very, very athletic. And New Mexico is just loaded. They're just at every position, inside and out, and just look like pros. But I think they could compete in some high major conferences.
Don't blink now because the season's here. I mean, you just talked about scheduling games already. Conference opens up in December, again, oddly enough.
November.
No, oh, that's right, there's a
Two
late
in November.
late November games.
That's when we play our first league game?
The conference, it's not getting any bigger, but the schedule seems like it shifts a little bit frequently, so. So time is short now, I guess, and time is of the essence for everybody.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I would say we're a little behind. I think we are, as far as having things in for a game that starts, in what, 12 days? Golly. I thought we had 2.5.
Just what you need is me sitting around reminding you only got 12 days.
Well, it really wasn't you. Okay.
Okay, well, all right.
Don't
Thanks for letting me off
It was
the hook.
downstairs.
All right, it's those guys.
We have a countdown on our board, 12 work days left.
12 work days left.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, it is here. I'm not fond of the 2 conference games before Christmas type deal. I think teams really change a lot between the fall semester and the spring semester. But the powers that be think there's some that it has to be done. So we have to do it. You really don't even. I mean, it's kind of funny. I don't even look at those games as important.
Yeah, that early in the year with the huge break in there.
And then we have the break, and then we go out to that Fiesta Bowl tournament, which for some reason, I think is the most important thing that we have going on, and it really isn't, but it does help us nationally because there's such good competition. Teams coming from from different region championships this past season. So I think Southern Idaho's in it, Indian Hills is in it. Central Florida, which has won a couple of national championships in the past 10 years. So I mean, it's going to be really, really tough. I've been kind of gearing up, looking forward to that, and overlooking the fact that we're going to already have played 2 conference games, which are the most important games. So it's not to me this season is not been in. I'm not looking forward to the way it falls out this year or lays out.
I like the countdown idea, 12 work days left before that first basketball game and get the team on the floor. Coach, any thoughts for us wrapping this up about your schedule, the way things stack up going into 2017-18?
No, I'm just ready to get going. I'm always excited.
Always fired up,
Always
Coach.
fired up.
That's the one thing you can guarantee, folks, about Coach Petree. He's always fired up, right?
What is
Coach Petree?
today's date? Anyway, what is?
Today is the
24th.
24th of October.
4, 5, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 30 days has September, April, June, November, all the rest of 31. 31. 1, 2,
3.
3. How many was that? How many
was
fingers?
12.
Was that 13?
That was 12.
That was 12.
Yeah.
She says it was 12.
You
Coach.
played
I'll
number
buy it.
13? You played where?
In Arizona.
Oh man.
There you go.
It's here. Do we know how we're getting to Arizona and Dallas yet? Do we have?
Well,
Fly?
I've got a bike, and we're going to put a couple of
Put a
girls in
trailer.
these baskets.
There you
We've
go.
got 3 coaches, 2 trainers, so
Basket them up and away you go.
we're going to pedal away.
Well, we'll let you guys get to working on transportation and hotel rooms because obviously lots of things to do for you in the very near future. Appreciate you guys taking time
Absolutely,
out.
man.
It's very educational for you young kids watching at home.
I would rather.
We learned the days of the month, so
Yeah.
that's
That, that was impressive,
You
by
remember
the
that?
way.
30 days has September,
Yeah.
April, June, November, all the
Some
rest of
people do
31.
it with their knuckles, though. I never. That's the one I know, the little song you sing.
I don't know that.
Yeah, you can like January, February, March, April, May, and like the ones that are your knuckles have 31.
I did not
Yeah.
know that.
learn something new every day,
I
Coach.
do, man. You can't imagine how much
I bring a lot. I bring a lot to the athletic department
I
here.
mean, it seems like 7 or 8 years, but
I'm smarter than I look.
and I usually say,
No,
then
you're not.
you would have to be. Do I say that, or what is it? I usually respond to that.
It's a kid's show.
Okay.
Coach Steve Green, Coach Cayla Petree, thanks guys for taking time out to visit with us. Best of luck yourself in the coming season. Look forward to seeing the teams here in the near future.
Thank you.
For South Plains College, I'm Michael Weist, KLVT Sports.